Good morning. Good morning, everybody. On this Wednesday morning, hump day for a lot of people. If it's your work week, it's hump day. If it's just you getting through a week, schooling, whatever, it's hump day for you guys because you're in the middle of the week. But welcome. I know it's been a while since I've done a live at this early juncture of the day. You know, I have a free opportunity now to go ahead and get back into a routine that I kind of enjoy. Doesn't mean that I'm going to be stuck at a time set or time frame. But today I want to talk about quality versus quantity. I know I did a poll. I put a poll on the community wall. Shout out to those that answered the question, and it was, very one-sided. Riaz, good morning. How you feeling? Or good afternoon. It's afternoon in your part of the world. So good afternoon. So today, after seeing the poll, I just decided to, come out with my take on quality versus quantity, right? So let's just get an understanding of the two words, right? So quality is a subjective measure of excellence or a state of being that describes something's characteristic or feature, right? It can, it can refer to how something was made or how it compares to others. And quantity is an objective measure of the extent, size, or sum of something that is countable or measurable and can be expressed as a number. It only changes when there is a change in the number of items that are present, right? Commander, good morning. So let's just take it as it was just stated, right? So I'm gonna start with the quantity, right? Quantity is a beautiful thing, right? You know, it's if it's a number or something to that extent, I'm gonna use it as in the individual state, right? So let's just say I'm a quantity, right? I believe I'm a great person. I believe that, you know, I do a lot of things that represents, you know, a good quality, a good status, a good concept, a good persona of me. I believe that I do that and I do that well, right? But me being one person, I have to be I have to be a standard, right? I have to be I don't want to say brand, but if you want to use brand, I am a brand, right? But it always has to be pertaining to me. Whatever I'm putting whatever I'm putting up, whether it's on here or in everyday life, in real life situations. I mean, YouTube is real life, but in an everyday situation, I represent, me, right? So that's the quantity of a situation, right? But, you know, the how do I say this? The quality of a situation, right? It pertains to uh, uh an amount, not an amount, more than one. That's how much. That's how I view it, right? So quantity is one, quality is more than one for me. What do I mean, right? There are great people up here, right? Commander, you're an awesome person. Riaz, you're a great young man, right? But that is only one of you. You are a quantity per se. You are a quantity in this perspective. So now you turn around and say, how do I what what am I basing my greatness on? What am I basing my understanding or my concept or my realization on a thing, right? So then you turn into quality, right? The quality of a thing is your character, your your ability to adjust, your ability to accept, or your ability to give. That is a quality of a person or a human being, right? So if I am Cheeky, good morning. If I am to be if I am to give out quality, I have to be consistent in the things that I do on an everyday basis, right? So if I am consistently trying to help somebody, if I am consistently uh, giving advice, if you say I'm easy to talk to, my consistency of listening to understand what is being said to me, so I can give the advice that you need to go on forward. That is a quality that is suited into, I guess, a quantity being me. I'm the quantity, I am the individual, right? So while there are times where quantity is a great asset, right? For example, somebody puts out a great song and they become what? A one hit wonder. Somebody comes on YouTube and put out a short, and that short, allows people to, want to subscribe to a person, right? Now this is for nobody in general, but I'm making a point. So let's say I put out a short and then I get 5,000 likes, and then I gain 2,000 subscribers, right? That is the quantity of that is a great quantity, is a great quality video, but the quantity of the one video is what makes you. a one hit wonder, right? You know, people say Milli Vanilli. I don't know if y'all know who that is. The younger people in the chat or those that are going to watch it later. I don't know if y'all know who that is, but they were a one hit wonder, right? And then come to find out, they did not make the song. But that's another, or they didn't actually sing said song. But that's another story for another day, right? But the fact is, they were named. They was a leading group for a particular time off of that one song, right? Good morning, watermelon. So that's the quantity side of a thing, right? Because you only had to do it once. You know, if you hit 4 home runs, or if you score 4 touchdowns in a game, or if you score 100 points, morning queen motivation, right? If you do all of those things at one time, right? They're gonna say that is the quantity of you. But now you have to understand what makes you great is qualifications, right? That's the other side of a one hit wonder, right? For example, Whitney Houston was great because of the quality of songs that she put out. Michael Jackson was great because of the quality of songs he put out. It wasn't just a one song that it may be one song that you may remember the most, but the consistency of the songs that they put out is what made you become a fan, a true fan, right? It's things like, for example, Cheeky puts out multiple videos on history. One video may catch your eye of a certain thing, but her consistency of research, her consistency of information is what makes her channel, her content of great quality. Queen Motivation may give you a informative but positive short, but it's her consistency that allows you to keep turning back or keep catching her every. Cece, good morning. My quiz is in the building. Ew. But well, we're missing one. But uh, the consistency of what you guys do is what makes you a person of interest, a person that people should follow. You're worth watching because of the quality of a situation, right? You know, we miss, like, for example, we miss watermelon and her content, but it wasn't just one aspect that allowed people to gravitate to her, right? It's the consistency of what she was doing, and some informative words as well with her content is what allowed people to draw to her. you know yeah, CC, you've been missed. Yeah, but I haven't seen you in a while, but I'm glad you're here this morning. But that's the difference for me between quantity and quality, right? If you want to be great, you can't be great off a 1 day showing. You cannot be great because you just showed up and you showed out that one time. It's a consistent thing that allows you to become great. It's a consistent. It's a that's one of the reasons why I don't believe in love at first sight, because it has to be consistent. It has to be a everyday scenario. I can't just make a friend off of 1 day. Yeah, you may have made an impact on me in a situation, but the fact of the matter is, if there's room to grow, the quality of a thing will supersede the quantity of a situation. I hope this is making sense to somebody, right? I didn't just come up here and just say one thing and then, I got all of these people that subscribe to me, right? I had to do it on a consistent basis. Man, now, some relationships are built differently when it comes to me, right? I'll use watermelon for an example. Bear with me, right? She was going through she came We met in the chat, and we came to well, she was expressing herself in the chat, and all I did was pray for her, right? So with that, you know, with that prayer, a friendship developed, a quality friendship developed, because it would be times when she come in the chat and I would check on her. Hey, how are you doing? I hope things are better, and so on and so forth. I pretty much done that for everybody here, but I'm just using her as an example, right? So just because I prayed for somebody didn't make me a good person, right? The fact that I consistently checked on her anytime that I see her on online, you know, it that's what makes me, well, hopefully that's what makes me a good person in people's eyes. It's because my consistency of making sure, hey, how you doing? Hope all is well. I've done it with Cece. I've done it with Cheeky. I've checked on a lot of people, and so the consistency is what makes it what you know a thing that makes you that makes quality overcome quantity. As I just expressed, there are things that'll make quantity great, right? For example, you throw a function, right? And the function is scheduled for 1,000 people, but you only get a quarter of that, which would be 250, right? So it's the 250 of 1,000, but the 250 of people makes that gathering a super success, because all of the energy matches, so on and so forth. So yes, what I'm saying is there are situations where quantity can look like a great quality, right? I'm not saying that quantity is not important. I'm not saying that it's not a necessity. I'm not saying that it's not needed. What I'm saying is that in that particular moment, the fact that 250 people had the same aura, the same energy, the same woo-ha, it allowed that situation to be one of the great quality scenes in a person's life, right? Having a one-on-one conversation with somebody, it may draw you to a person, right? Just because that one person matches your energy, that's the quantity of a situation, right? But the quality of the conversation is what attracts somebody to that quantity, which will, since I'm speaking in individual situations and people, it will draw you to that person, right? So, for me, quality is what matters, right? Your consistency, your energy, your effort is what makes you a person of necessity, a person of love, a person of attraction, so to speak. You can be physically beautiful, but you can be an emotional wreck, right? Your soul ain't cute, but you're physically beautiful. That's a quantity of a thing, but in totality, the quality may not match the quantity, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a total package that you're looking for from an individual, right? If you are a consistent person that, delivers the same message, you are well received because you are consistent. So people may say that the quality of your message is worth sticking around for. The quality of a message is why, you know, I will stay attentive to you, not because you spoke to me in a individual message. Yes, that's a quantity of a situation, but if you continue to do that, you will stay drawn to an individual, right? And that's why, there's a difference between quantity and quality. At the end of the day, you have to be the person that has that attribute to not want to be just a quantity, but a qualified person, right? You don't want to be quantified only. It's great that you quantify yourself because you're an individual, but when you go out and help people, you cannot just be quantified. You have to be qualified, you know? And a lot of people get that thing misconstrued. You're not just the only person that can do something. Like I am not the only person that can come here and speak to you guys. I appreciate you guys, showing up and listening and giving me advice and so on and so forth. But I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that you're doing this for. I believe that the quality of the efforts that I make is better than just the individual person that I am today. You understand what I'm saying? So those are the things that will help us going forward with quantity versus quality, right? There are people here that are out here doing everyday things on a consistent level that is a necessity to people. It doesn't make that person a quantity, but the qualifications or the effort or the consistency is what makes that person that unique person. We all have unique attributes. We all have attributes that stand out, that makes us stand out to be a individual, or in this case of the topic, quantity. But the quality of what you do is what always going to outweigh the quantity. Yes, there are times that the one hit wonder will stick out, you know. But if they not consistent with it, you'll stop listening to them. Like for example, going back to Millie Vanilli, they don't even count anymore because that one song has gone away. People don't even know what song I'm talking about. You would have to Google a song to understand what I'm talking about with them individuals. Vanilla Ice, you would have to Google a song that'll. You understand? You would have to look into the archive to see why that person was a hot topic for a particular day. That is the quantity of a thing. The quality of a thing is what makes you continuously go back to them. Something that has an understanding to your mind, body, and soul is the quality that will allow you to draw to a person. If you understand how important history is, you will check on, you will check Cheeky's channel. You will check people like Shakira's channel. You will check things like that. If you understand the consistent motivational speaking of a thing, you will check people like Shay Love out. You will check people like sometimes you will check the word out. The consistency of what they do is what allows you to understand how how cool of a person or how generous of a person they are, right? You can't just sit there and say, you know what? Well, I can't stand you sometimes, Cheeky. Yeah, but you're telling on yourself. But that's what I'm saying. Like if you understand those, like I don't think people like Young Riaz may understand that song, well, Commander may understand it. She's kind of young, but you would have to look back into the archives and say, wow. Like some people would turn around and say, well, what the hell was so special about that song? Because they only hear that one song and can't find nothing else in the catalog. There's been plenty of like Adina Howard, right? We're gonna go to Adina Howard real quick. You know, a freak like me. What other songs has she done, right? Unless you became a real fan of that one hit, you ain't gonna know the songs that she brought out. I can't even tell you if she has another album after that, or was that just a single that just came out and the album never even came out? I can't tell you that. You understand what I'm saying? Because the inconsistency of being promoted could make you a one hit wonder. The inconsistency of you producing a video content on YouTube can make you a one hit wonder. That's why a lot of people get hit, shorts get hit like boom, and they blow up because they see the one short, and then now you have to be consistent to show how the quality that you have has to be presented. So now, like I said before, 2,000 people, I got 5,000 likes on a video. That was an example. I get 5,000 likes on a video, and now I have to produce to show what my qualifications is of keeping those people at bay, at ease. And what happens most of the time? Y'all's content creators, a lot of y'all here, what happens? Some people don't like what we produce after a certain short or content. We'll lose a couple of people. Not to say you're going to lose them all, but it's the consistency. Some people think that our quality is not enough to keep them there. That's fine. But the fact is, you have to understand what drove them there in the first place was that one instance, that one spark, that one piece of energy that drew somebody towards you. Now you have to be consistent. If I'm gonna be a great friend, I have to be consistently available to be a friend, not sometimes the person to say, you know what, I helped you through that one scenario and then just disappear. That's not being a great friend. It's the qualities that I produce that will make me a great friend or a good friend or a person that can be counted on. You know what I mean? And a lot of the times in real life, it's the things that's not said that makes you qualified for a person. Not because you're not you're not consistent with it. It's just the fact that some people talk to you in confidence, and if it doesn't get out, that's another great quality for an individual to say, you know what, that person is cool. That person is a person of great standard, of great morals, or things of that nature. You have to produce a consistency of a situation that'll allow you to become great. You can be great you can be noticed off of quantity, but the quality of a thing will make your name a unique one, right? Quantity can do it too, because like I said, Millie Vanilli, one hit wonder. Adina Howard, one hit wonder. You know, there's certain things in a situation, right? It's mostly ladies here, right? For example, right? In the NFL, right? They had a strike in 1987, right? So in 1987, they played the Super Bowl. A guy ran for 207 yards in the Super Bowl, but he was a replacement player. So they don't even like he couldn't win the MVP because he was a replacement player. So even that great one game that he had in the Super Bowl when he ran for like 200 yards and things of that nature, he couldn't get the accolades that he deserved. Why? Because they felt that was a one-time scenario for that individual. Now his qualifications is not a standard because they felt that it was just that quantity of him doing it that one time. You understand what I'm saying? It's the consistency that we have to do things. That is why quality is, you know, a better outlook for a lot of people than quantity. I'm not saying that quantity is a bad thing. I'm saying that quality is more consistently viewed as a plus than the quantity of a thing. You know, you can only have one person, right? You can only have one person in your life, right? But the qualities of that person is what makes that quantity a uniqueness going forward in somebody's situation, whether it's a relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wives, you know, partners, however you look at it. It's the qualities of a person that allows you to stay in a situation, not just, well, he's 6'4" and he looks tall and he's great, or she has the Coke bottle body, or whatever the attribute is. It's the fact that there's more qualities to a person than just that adds to a quantity as far as an individual than just that one aspect of a thing. So that is why, people view quality over quantity. That is why I view quality over quantity, because you could be great for a second, but if you ain't great that following second, you're going to be noticed as an inconsistent thing. And now the quantities is the quantity of yourself is looking, as they would say, suspect, because you're not a consistently favorable person in their eyes, right? If you do a thing constantly, people can draw more of a view of you than just you doing it one time. That's why a lot of people, the 48, for example, the first impression is the best expression. It doesn't mean that much to me, right? Because everybody's good on their first impression. Just like if you go to church, everybody's good at church. You see your pastor, how many people cuss in the church, right? So the quantity of the church is one thing, but when you step outside, some people may show they true color. Like, yo, let me go out there and get me a bottle and drink because I went to church. Praise the Lord. I'm a drink my wine, right? Or let me go out there and smoke my blunt at the, I just needed to hear a word. And then they're gonna look at you as being inconsistent. So the quantity of a thing is not consistent enough to outweigh a quality of a thing. Those are the things that I'm trying to get you. The reason the Afro swing scene died out is because of repetitiveness, artists falling off, and the pandemic. But that's what I'm saying, Riaz. You make a good point. The consistency of a thing is what allows a thing to continue, right? For my older people, right? What happened to disco? Disco was a phase. Donna Summers and all of those people singing those disco songs, right? Saturday Night Fever. That was a swing. How long did it last? Because you couldn't keep that constant. You couldn't keep it consistent, and it was more of a fad than a routine, right? A fad is a quantity. A routine can turn into your quality. And those are the things that we have to do. If I'm consistently up here, saying that I want the best for you and I'm doing the best that I can to help you become the best person that you could possibly be, you turn around and say, hey, he's very consistent. He keeping his word. That's the consistency of a thing. That's the thing that I try to do as far as, being a good friend, being a good person. My quality or my consistency is what qualifies me to be in a group or in a situation, not just the one time I just came through and said something positive. Because the one, a one time thing today is like, I, she's I. It's the consistency of a thing. If you continuously try to give somebody game, if you continuously try to be, you know, the person that you set yourself out to be, it will be seen much more than, you coming up here, you know, once every 6 months. They don't that you can't retain your identity just because you are a quantity. You keep your identity because of what you constantly do. That's what qualifies you to be in a list of things, right? That's what makes you, a historian. That's why Chiki has a history channel because she is consistently doing the history research. That's why she could name herself Chiki History Channel. See what I'm saying? If Watermelon does something other than makeup, she can't just say that she's a makeup artist. She can say she is something other than that. But her consistency of doing her videos is about makeup and having conversations within the makeup realm. So that's why she could be labeled a makeup artist. Queen Motivation, her name is self-explanatory. So if she's not trying to motivate somebody to get through a situation, she could no longer be Queen Motivation, right? Inside joke, if Commander ain't shooting people down in the chat, she can't be Commander, right? What up, Nine? But that's the thing that I'm trying to get everybody to understand. It's the consistency of what you do, right? If you if you just dibble and dabble in things, you're not going to be known for your consistency of you're not going to be labeled as a one thing. If, for example, if I do sports, right? If I do a sports channel, I'm thinking about doing a sports channel. I have to be consistent with my conversation of sports in order for somebody to say, "Hey, this brother know what he's talking about." So what does that do? That will bring somebody to have conversations with me if I do the sports channel. And those are it's the consistency. You can't, like, I could just come up here and say, you know what, Patrick Mahomes is the best player in football, right? Just an example, guys. Bear with me. I can say that, and people are like, well, okay, that's a true statement. Now go on. Now, if I don't say nothing behind that, it's like, okay, you just a person that know that Patrick Mahomes is great, but everybody knows that he's great. He's the reigning defending Super Bowl champion MVP. So that don't mean a hill of beans. But the consistency of having a conversation, well, he's great because of his consistency of stepping up to the plate at the biggest time of a of a game, or biggest time of a season, or his consistent win to loss ratio in the playoffs. You will understand where I'm going with that if you understand the subject. So now my qualities is like, okay, now I understand what the brother's talking about. You know what I mean? So we have to be consistent in order for our qualities to be seen and draw to the quantity, which is the individual self, right? No quantity is better, can be greater than quality. I don't believe that. And that's just my aspect of my view. Because a quantity needs substance, but it needs consistent substance in order to, you know, go about and do the things that you need to be qualified and consistent of. UK artist not fell off because his sound Afro swig was dying because he fell off and got comfortable. He's depressed and his new music not hitting. But that we as what I'm saying is when you lose a situation, when you lose an aspect of a thing, something when you get stagnated, your qualities is not going to be hitting the same, right? This young man you talking about, he wasn't consistent with it. He got depressed, he stopped producing, and once you stop producing, you get lost in the source. There's an expression that we use in America, Riaz, called out of sight, out of mind. If you're not consistently within earshot or eyesight of people, there will be people that will forget about you. That's another quality that needs to be done, because if you're inconsistent with yourself, you'll turn into a quantity and not a quality. Those are the things that we have to understand. Your consistency is what makes you who you are, right? You speak, Riaz, you personally, you are consistently supporting people, right? Now let's just say something happens to you and nobody sees you for the next 3 or 4 months. The friendships that you may have drawn is going to say, hey, Riaz is missing, I hope he's okay. Some people may just look at you as an afterthought, like, damn, I ain't see Riaz in a while. All right, cool. And keep it moving. You understand? The consistency of showing up, your consistency of adding value to a chat is what makes you a unique person. That's why you have a lot of respect with people, because you are consistently doing something. Lonnie, how you feeling? I ain't see you in a while. Hope all is well. Good morning. Right? The consistency of a thing is what allows you to be received and welcome and be embraced by people. If you do it just one time, you cannot say that people is going to receive you the way that you would if you do it on a consistent basis. And that's why I'm saying that quality will outweigh quantity, because of that reason alone. If you do it one time, right, and then nobody's gonna respect the fact that you did it that one time. They're going to expect you to do it more. That's what Word was talking about not too long ago. People put expectations on things, but we put expectations on things if you are a consistent, or if you consistently do something, right? If I continuously come on here and say, you know what, if somebody needs help, I'll be there to help you. Now I have to live up to that part. Now somebody might hit me in the background, hey, what's your number, or what's your email, or what's your Instagram? Like, I've made an Instagram so somebody could feel comfortable with having a conversation in the background. Now, my job is after that is to be consistent. Like, some people may be in the background, like, listen, I need this to be private. Now, if I come out and start blabbing what people are telling me, I am not a qual. I'm not a qualified person to be considered a friend in some people's eyes. You see what I'm saying? It's your consistency that wins people over. It's not just that one beat. Like that one beat will make you stay there and keep you interested. But it's the consistency of a thing that qualifies you. That one beat was the quantity, but the qualification is more than just that one event or that one individual person. You understand what I'm saying? All of y'all are great people, but it took y'all to be great people not just because you did something correct one time. You had to do it on a numerous basis. Like even sometimes if you're not consistent, right? You might fall off every now and again. But if you start a channel and you ain't did something in a little while, but your content stays the same, there are people going to view you as that person. They can't, they have no other choice but to view what you put out there. And if you put something out there as such, you are gonna be it's the quality of a thing that kept you there, right? Like, you know, Cheeky doesn't talk often. So I used to bother her like, Cheeky, I need to hear your voice. And then she came on like, Gary, I did this just for you. Hey, I appreciate that. But it allows me to understand how cool we have become because of the consistency that we would chat in the chat, but now she comes up there like, I doing this just for you, Gary. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I appreciate that. I felt the way. I felt comfortable with that person because they took the time and did a gesture for somebody else, you know? Yeah, you don't if you are consistently a jerk, then that's what people gonna view as your qualification. You're a jerk. You're a hole. You're just a goofball, or whatever the case may be. You like negativity. If you stay in those realms at a consistent level, they gonna like, okay, well, what's the good in you, right? If I like, I'm pretty sure that people are waiting for me to slip up and act a fool because I'm so want to help everybody. I so want to do things for the right reasons. If I slip up, like I said, I'm pretty sure people want to see my inconsistency, but I don't want that qualification to be seen. I don't want that quality to be seen because we all have that. But if we are our everyday selves, 9 times out of 10, you're good for the most part, unless you don't like being good. If your content is your character, that is the quality that you want to be displayed for everybody. And those are the things that we have to understand going forward. That your consistency is your quality. It qualifies people. It qualifies people to make a standard for you, right? If Commander is so nicely spoken, even if she cusses every once in a while, the consistency of her being a nice person is what's going to be on display for the most part because her good outweighed her bad. And the bad is a quantity in this situation because the qualities of her being nice is being displayed. All right, well, we know she got a temper on her. We just need to stay away from her real quick because she will chew your head off. You understand? That's not that's just an example. I'm not saying Commander's a great person, but what I'm saying is those attributes are not the only things that makes you qualified to be in a situation and not just an individual or a quantity of a situation. And we all have that attribute, right? If we only think about money, they're gonna say, "Well, damn, you just a money hungry person." Or if you thinking about watching people down for, damn, you a foul person because all you want to do is see somebody down for. No, if that's what you are consistently, that's what people are going to label you as. The quality is what makes you a label. The quantity just makes you an individual. See what I'm saying? So quality is a label. The quantity is an individual. You know, in my conversation, yes, you can have 10 of a thing, and that's the quantity of a mass or whatever. I'm just talking about. I'm just using this to simplify the difference between the quality of a thing and the quantity, and why one is in many people's eyes supersede another. But there are people that believe that quantity is more important than quality. And I can understand that. It's just like a war, right? Just because you win a battle doesn't mean you win the war, right? The goal is to win several battles for you to inevitably win a war. So a quantity of a thing is not is not the end game. The quality of a thing is the end game. And those are the things that we have to understand going forward, which is why quality will always, in my, like I said before, in my eyes, will always be better than quantity. You can be a great person. There's no disputing that. I believe everybody here is great. I believe people that may watch this in the background are great people. But if you're not consistent, then everybody's gonna may see you in a different light because of your inconsistencies of a situation or a section or everyday life may view somebody have a different view on somebody else. Like I said, some people may not like your qualifications, but they can't. Well, one thing that they can't say that your quality is not consistent. You see what I'm saying? Good morning, Shay. And that's the thing that we have to understand. The things that you put out is what makes you, a person of substance and not just an individual. Because everybody is an individual, but the substance and the content that you put out, especially on YouTube, is what makes you a unique person. It makes you qualified for a particular section, right? Shout out to Shay. She just did a motivational video not too long ago. That's something that she does. That's something that she always displaying. So it's okay for you to say, well, Shay is a motivational speaker. She wants people to have a upside to their everyday life, right? It's okay to say that. How can we say that? Because she does that on a consistent level. She doesn't just do it once every 4 to 5 months. But even if she does, if she's sticking with her content of trying to motivate somebody, that's the end game. She's still consistent with her words. It's not like you fluctuate. It's not like the stock market where you're high one day and low the next day, right? You have to be balanced. You have to be consistent. If you always elevated in a certain aspect, people may view you as an elevated person. If you are a low spirited person, people will view you as a low spirited person. It's your consistency of a situation or what you bring to the table, so to speak, is what categorize you or will put you in a certain group. Not because you did something one time and you know and are consistent with it. There are many people that hit the lotto, right? You hit six numbers, right? Let's just do this real quick. You hit six numbers, and then now all of a sudden you a millionaire. You are in a quantity of a millionaire club, but the consistency of you maintaining that will either keep you there, or if you don't know what you're doing and lose it all, you're out of the group. You see what I'm saying? The quantity is there. Quantity is always there, but the qualities and the qualifications of keeping you there is the work that you need to do to circumstance your individualism, or in this case, your millionaire club status. Right? If you get $1 million and spend it, are you still a millionaire? No. You have to be consistent in how to maintain things. How you have to be consistent, even if it's the elevated thing. You have to be consistent of doing the things that you do. That's why quality counts. That's why quality matters. It doesn't mean you, the individual, are worthless. It just means that the qualities and the consistencies that you must display or put into action is more important than that one quantity, which would be the individual in this situation. That's why we have to be consistent, right? If you love something, right, you have to show the consistency of love. You can't love something, then all right, I'm a not talk to a person for a long period of time. How many family members do that? Well, I only call somebody when I need them. Now you just gonna be somebody that only wants something from an individual. That's a quality that you display. But if you are consistently checking on somebody, hey Shay, hope all is well. Hey, Cheeky, hope all is well. Hey, Young Riaz, hope all is well. If you are consistent with a thing, I'm not saying that life don't life. But what I'm saying is your consistency in life is what allows you to be qualified to be a good person in this case, or a bad person, or a person that don't care. However it is viewed, your consistency of a situation or the qualities of your consistency is what allows you to be categorized as you know quality or quantity of a thing. That's just like I don't want to be labeled as somebody that's just on YouTube, right? I want to be I want to be someone that has reached a person. I may not have reached people to a content of, having 30,000 subscribers and doing something crazy and where everybody else is reached. But if one person understands me, I can say I'm consistent. Just like if a person do foolishness, that one person following that person could be, hey, he's consistent or she's consistent. That's the thing that I'm saying. The fact that you are consistent with a thing is what really matters, right? You know, and those are the things that I'm trying to tell everybody, that quality, it matters. Quality is a necessity. Quantity is a necessity too. Don't get it confused. But the quality for me, is more important than just the quantity. If you come on here and just say, you know what, I love you, right? And then you turn around and you don't hear from nobody in months. And then you like, well, life is life. If I love you in return, my job is to continuously check on you. Hey, you okay? How are you? How is life? What's going on? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is there anything I could do? If I could pray with you, I'll pray with you. You want to pray? Let's pray. Or whatever it is that you do, you're trying to show somebody that you are a person of concern and compassion for a person. So that's what you do. But you must do it on a consistent level. Not because you did it one time. One time just means, all right, you did it one time. Like I said earlier, you are right. You all right. Now, if you do it consistently, well, a person with a negative aspect or tone is going to say, well, you're just trying to be nosy. I can't help if you think I'm trying to be nosy. All I can do is be me and say, you know what, let's pray about it. Or, you know, if you ever need to talk, I'm here. If I'm not the person that's putting your business out in the street, you can't say I'm being nosy. Well, you could say I'm being nosy, but I'm not putting it out in the street. That's just your thought process. But my consistency should speak 1,000 words. If a picture speaks 1,000 words, your consistency should speak more than 1,000. But if you're an individual that's only worried about the quantity of a thing, you'll never understand what I'm saying, because that's not moving a needle for you. This conversation is not moving a needle if you only believe that quantity is more important than quality. I'm not saying that quantity is not important. I'm just explaining why quality is more important than the quantity of a thing, right? And we have to all understand that they do work together at times, yes. But the quality is all right. Is it safe to say that quantity is a foundation, and quantity is the foundation, but quality is the strength of the foundation? Is that safe to say? Would that be, all right to say? Because you are individual, but your qualities is what solidifies your foundation as a human being. You can have a foundation, but if you are who you are, it solidifies everything. If Shay just turns around and say, you know what, I'm doing a prayer line, I believe she can do it because all she do is talk about the energy of prayer. So I would believe that she can do it. My expectation of her doing it will not be wavering, because that's what she talks about. She's consistently talking about praying. So I believe she is qualified to do something like that. If Chiki don't have another subject on about history, I understand that she is going about the fact of being a historian. She's a historian to me. Why? Because that's all she talks about in her videos is a that's her content. Her content is about historical situation, historical factors. Even if it's about, you know, a race, she's willing to dig into that race. And that's why her channel is her channel. But That's why people view her as a historian. You know, Riaz is a drip king. So he wants to be viewed as somebody that's on the music scene, right? Even if we don't understand the genre, we would turn to him because that's what he talks about. That's why he's a unique, that's why his quality is more important than the quantity of a thing, right? And that's all I'm saying about everybody. The fact that, you know, we're not wavering, we're standing on our qualifications, we're standing on our consistency. I said that because I see the wind blowing. Don't mind me, y'all. But with that being said, no matter how we sway, if we are consistent with what we're talking about, then we are where we are as individuals. You understand? You know, like I'm not missing nobody's comment on purpose. I'm just spitting. I'm just going on with the conversation. Bear with me. But the fact is that quality, the quality of an individual, the qualities that you display, is what labels you to be an important figure, whether right or wrong, left or right. That's what labels you. The quantity of a thing, it just allows you to be seen as an individual, right? I just, and ending the conversation, right? I just believe that, you know, your qualities could make you a great quantity, but your quantity cannot qualify you to be great. If y'all understand what I'm saying, if I'm wrong, we can have that conversation later on. But that's just my view of the thing, right? You can't be great because of your qualifications, right? And it'll make your individual quantity, the uniqueness of a thing. But if you just an individual with no qualifications and no qualifications, let me say that again. If the quantity doesn't have no qualities, it just makes you an individual, a person with, you know, it just makes you a person. But your qualifications is the substance that makes you an individual. So qualities can turn into a quantity. I don't think quantity can turn into qualities consistent enough to outweigh qualities. And that's just me, having a conversation. I see people chatting. Like I said, Shay, what up? Whatever we are consistent in reflects our true character, and that's what I'm saying. And that's a true statement, Shay. That's why I use you as an example because you know even if life goes wrong for you, you're gonna take the aspect of trying to outweigh the wrongs in your life to spin it into a motivational thing for somebody else. That's why people continuously view you in high regards. That's why people view you with high standards. If you were just a person to say, woe is me, people might have turned around and said, you like pity parties. You understand what I'm saying? But the fact that you push through whatever's going on in your life, the sky could be falling on your life, but you could turn around and say, "Hey, the sky may be falling in my life, but the sun is still shining because God got me." So people's gonna understand, like you're fighting through a situation, and because you're fighting through a situation, your strength and or your faith in qualities that God has in your life is gonna outweigh that sky is falling symptom, and that's why people continuously look at you with the uniqueness of who you are. That's why people understand, and that's why people will consistently support you because you have a positive outlook on anything that has a negative content or aspect that surrounds you, right? You always a person that makes the best out of a bad situation. You don't throw your hand in because you ain't got no spade. You'll play the hand out knowing that another hand will be dealt to you when that hand is over. And that's what makes each and every one of us unique. But since I'm talking about you, Shay, this is the reason why so many people adore you and always want the best for you because you do nothing but push that out for other people. So if the Bible tells you do unto others as you want done unto you, and you qualify that by doing so, that's what people will want for you. Those that care anyway. We know there are people that, we always know there's an exception to rules. So you may have one or two like, look at your downfall, whatever the case may be. But the majority of people, the consistent people that view you, that wants the best for you, is always going to want the best for you. And that's for everybody that's in the chat, right? Or anybody that has content. You know what I mean? Whether it's, watermelon. Diane, how you doing? Good morning. Um, the fact, my 33 brother, what up though? I just got up. My wife mad. Yeah, cause you was supposed to been doing something this morning, but you over there, talking about transparency. But but yeah, word better behave, cause not only he gonna get a whooping, he gotta go to HR soon, and HR is in the chat. But I'm just saying. But but what I'm saying is, for individuals that don't have an understanding of the difference between quality and quantity, the qualities that you display is what makes your quantity a unique point or aspect in everyday situations. Yes, for those that's coming in, I believe that quality is more important than quantity. Shout out to those people that that voted on the poll. I believe it was a landslide. Quality was more important. And, in the beginning of the live, I was saying how quantity can be seen as an important aspect, as as a as a trait. You know, I was just, talking about that conversation real quick. Man, that conversation went left. My brain hurt. I like LD, but what the yo? I'm gonna talk to you in the background behind that because I try, here's a perfect example, right? Of why my quality is better than my quantity. There's certain times and aspects that you can disagree with a person and not turn it into a confrontation. But there are people that's looking for the confrontation, and if I was to reciprocate that energy, I would have been viewed. I would have been viewed. Okay, Diane. My cash app is. Hold on. If I was to reciprocate that type of energy, I would be viewed as a different person. My my character is to try to figure things out, to try to keep peace. I know there are people that wants to see that quality crack, so I can just be a quantity or just another person. But my qualities makes me different from every other quantity that goes around. You understand what I'm saying? So when that happens, you have to stand your ground. Like I said, like I just said, quantity is a foundation, but your quality solidifies the quantity of your foundation. You know what I mean? Gary Squeeze section is a gang in the UK, but they were members who did music. But okay, Riaz, but now I'll get to that point in a second. But that's what I'm saying though. You have to understand why, for me, quality is more important than quantity. It's 12 o'clock as the bells go off. Good afternoon, everybody. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta really understand why your quality is more important than just your it helps grow your quantity. Quantity, I don't think it can grow your qualifications. It just allows it to be seen in a broader stain or a broader light. You understand what I'm saying? But the qualities is what make the quantity an aspect. So if you don't have any quality, your quantity could be worthless. I don't think your qualities could be worthless to somebody. Your quantity can. That's why quality is more important than quantity. Yeah, I'm trying to get you up here, word. I'm trying to figure out how to I gotta invite people up here, I guess. Hold on. I know you want to say something so bad. How do I get people up? Damn, I ain't been doing this so long. See, that's how y'all gotta bear with me. Uh, y'all gotta bear with me. It's been so long since I done this. No, I don't want a banner. I don't want a brand. Wow, I forgot how to do this. Y'all bear with me. I know. Word want to say something so bad. All right, hold on. I'm trying to remember how to do this. I ain't done this in so long. It's crazy. Do I gotta go? I'm back, guys. I'm back. Uh, I'm back, guys. For those of y'all that want to come up, no, I was, no, I was, no, I'm back, Chiki. I was trying to get the link so I can post it if anybody wanted to come up. Now I got to see if anybody's gonna come. Well, I know Word want to say something so bad. Don't laugh at me, Commander. Stop laughing. I'm back. I was only back because I needed to get the link. I posted I hope the link is highlighted. I don't even know if it's highlighted. But the fact of the matter is that this conversation was important, and it was very important to me. Like I said, because as much as we want everybody to be a part of a situation, we have to understand not everybody's going to fit, but those that fit, they make the uniqueness of the quantity of a message, or the quantity of your efforts, right? It's because everybody is in sync. Everybody's qualifications allow that message to be received in a harmonious way, right? If I was to sit down and take the time, or if anybody was to sit down and take the time to you know have the convers or check my videos, I would like to say I have been consistent at the things that I've been doing. You understand? Whether it's, I believe that all my messages connect in one way, shape, form, or fashion, all my videos. But that's not, I can say it do, but the qualities has its own suggestion, and the people that views it has may say, hey, not all of them connect, but we understand where you're going with it. That's the consistency of the qualities that I want to display, right? To where if I was just all over the place, I would just be individualized as a person that doesn't have a foundation. I'm just all over the place. You see what I'm saying? So
Hey, what up?
Riaz, good afternoon. Oh yeah, this afternoon your time. What up though?
Hey, I'm doing good, man.
Yeah, I seen you was saying a lot of things in the chat, right? I wasn't
Yep.
trying to like dismiss your conversation. I was just flowing. But the
Nah, I
fact,
get
like
it.
I said, the fact that you are consistent with your comments, it allows people to understand that you are a person of substance. You are a person that believes that there's music that is worthy of contribution in people's lives. You understand? So that's
Yeah,
why I'm
of
saying
course.
the things that you do, or the things that you say, it allows you to display the conduct of your everyday life. That's what adds to your quantity as you being an individual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah. because to me, I actually believe that, like, again, I've got a lot of people support me. I just feel like, look, I share about UK music because not a lot of people know about it. And even if people do know it, I appreciate it when they support. But I'm saying is I like to share that with other people so then I get to learn about it though. Because there's a lot of talent that basically, most people don't know.
And the one thing that we have to understand too is that there are a lot of people like on this app. There's a lot of people that may subscribe to you just because of your support and not understand what your qualification is on the topic or situation or your channel or what your why your content is so important to your channel, right? And those one of the
Mm-hmm.
things that we have to stop doing. We have to, just because somebody is supporting us, we have to take the time to understand what their if we're going to support somebody, we have to understand what their content is, what qualifies you to have that
Mm-hmm.
conversation.
Right,
And for the most
right.
part,
But I'm
a
still
lot of us
grateful
are
for everyone, though. I'm also saying is that yes, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying to me though, I'm very grateful for everyone basically, who comes over. Like even if like whatever they do, this what they do, man. I just basically embrace it because I'm very grateful for it because. I can get to that position now, but then later I fall back. So basically, though, it's better not to burn any bridges. And basically, same people you see on the way up is the same way they're on the way down. So I'd rather do it in a good way. So when I do fall down, they'll be there.
right. Shakira, good afternoon. Girl, I was speaking about you too. You know, I was just telling people how your content it allows us to view you as an awesome person, and it allows us to see you as a consistent person, that your qualities outweighs your quantities. So we appreciate you for the things that you do. You know how I feel about you and Cheeky. I tell y'all all the time. I think y'all need to collab and come up with some stuff and just do what y'all do together. You know what I mean? Not to steal each other's shine. I just think y'all would shine better together. That's just the qualities that I see in you guys. You know what I mean? And that's why I say quality is always going to outrank quantity. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I like the notes example as well. I could elaborate as well. So basically, when during that time as well, when he wasn't doing much music on his own side, he was basically jumping on other people's tracks, though, basically. He's doing features as well. That's good for his name and everything. But basically, it's gonna, the people consistently want to check him on the features and not for his music. So that's why he slowly started to decline, decline, decline because what he's making was repetitive at the time, right? People thought it was repetitive, and basically the sound was dying. The rise of drill, basically, rise of UK drill, basically, they just rise up, and basically Afro swing started to decline because people, it was just like the culture and the climate and the scheme of what people wanted that time. And, with what type of thing he's doing is since his name was, like he's associated with that type of thing, even though he didn't do what he did, but people know him for that. The moment the entire scene he's doing no falls is the moment he falls with it.
yeah, I agree with that. The word, my 33 brother. What up, nine? What's going on with you?
What up, nine? Chill, bro. I just got up. Yes, baby. Okay, I know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, loud and clear.
Oh, my dog is chirping. My bad. But okay, Didi, hold on. I'm on the phone, baby. Okay, go get your scooter. But yeah, the quality and quantity. I believe I want to take it to like conversations, right? We got this word concise. And I think precise, the word itself personifies quality and quantity because it's using few words to say a lot. That's the definition of the word. And when we get on these platforms, I think a lot of times people they're not concise enough. They just talk, and there's a lot of words, and it begins confusing people. And that's why my brain was hurting last night. I'm like, man, what is we talking about? That's something I had to work on. Just being speaking in front of groups. I had to work on it. I was told to work on
Yeah, but at the same time, right? You know, when you have those type of conversations, it 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 doesn't help when people, you know, they go around the world to make their point. You know what I mean? So when that happens, you have to show, you got to show how well versed you are. But it also allows people to show that your quality of being well versed is what allows you to be you, right? Because it's very easy to be swayed off topic. But the goal when you have your channels and when you have panels and things like that is for you to do your best to stay on topic. Like that's why a lot of the times, when I'm on your panel, I try to swing it right back to the topic. If we're talking about why the world is blue, and they talking about, well, the sun is the moon's brother, and I'm like, okay, well, let's just swing it back to why the world, the sky is blue. You know what I mean? Those are the things that we have to, when you have these platforms, your consistency, like I always say, if your content is your character, that shows your qualifications. So that has to be part of your qualification too, to stay on the course or stay on topic, because there's going to be people that means well, but they go around the world in order for you to get their point across. So you have to stay as much on your square as anybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get about the quantity thing, because the quantity thing is basically draining stuff. Before, I used to post everything all in one go, then wait, then do it again and again, and that's draining. So I switched it. So instead, I just do basically, drop it as many as I can in one day, and then wait for a while for the next week, and then continue just adapt it to suit me. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Just adapt it to me. So that's how I stay consistent. So at least I don't run out of ideas, though.
Yeah, that yeah, and I'm gonna do that show about, or I'm gonna do an upload hearing and listening. And I just noticed a lot of people in conversation, especially when we're talking about topics, they not listening, because you can tell when a person ain't listening because they cut you off, and then they take what you're saying out of context because they don't let you get the full idea out, or they already perceive or have a prejudgment of what you're saying. And I think that, like you said, quality and quantity, I will equate quantity to hearing and quality to listen. Like you can hear a couple words and then you want to react versus listening to everything and have a response. And that's what a lot of people do. People don't take the time out to listen, and that just shows the quality of the listening skills. I hope I didn't food salad that.
No, you good. You good. You good. No, because the thing about it is that I try to keep it like on an individual. Like I try to keep it to its literal meaning. Right. I started the show by saying quantity is a number. I just use the individual as the number, like one, and then I had to prove how the qualities is it allows you to become a better one, right? One doesn't come with just itself. You have to have amass a certain amount of things to allow that one to be visualized or seen. And that's why I was saying how people, for me, quality is always gonna be more important, or in a way outrank a quantity of a thing. What do you think about that?
Mm-hmm.
I think it reminded me of what my grandfather, when he was teaching me the concept of quality over quantity. He said you can have 100 pennies or you can have $1. You know, 100 pennies, you got a whole bunch of them, but that $1 is easier to carry around. So which one is better? So I just think, I think this is a great conversation. I think is something that should be built on. We can talk about it from different angles. But I think this is what's missing in society is the concept of quality and quantity. People think because you have like more things, like material things, right, that makes you a better person, but they missing those material things usually people acquire to fulfill an internal desire. And if that internal desire is not fulfilled, what do? They keep getting material things, and they never have that quality of what the material thing is supposed to be because it's not inside of them. I did it again.
I can agree to that, yeah. Yeah, I agree though, you have a quantity thing because, when you do the quantity thing, people can see through that because, just putting it out for the sake of putting it out and they can sense, like you're not really enjoying it for yourself or you don't really have the passion for it, but you're just doing it because it does good, in general, right? It just does good and because, it's to keep consistency as well. And because of that, people can see through that. People can see through that, so that's why it's better to do the quality things. At least they know, like what you do is what you're enjoying it for, because it's still your page at the end of the day.
Hey G, let me ask you this: do you think you can have quality and quantity?
Do I don't I can honestly say I wouldn't know how to balance that, right? Because I mean, I just believe that quality it solidifies the quantity of a thing, right? For example, you just said the dollar to 100 pennies. The 100 pennies is more than one, but it equals to that $1. You see what I mean? I don't see the balance. The value is the same, but I don't see the balance. If that makes any sense. So if I go by that logic, I wouldn't know how to balance the two together. I just know that for me, quality is more important, and it adds to quantity. Where quantity, I don't think quantity adds to quality. If you understand why, I don't think that can happen. I think quality adds to quantity, but I don't think quantity adds to quality. In my example that I have been using today.
And I say that because of this. I noticed, like when I first started doing YouTube, the videos that I pumped out a lot of videos, and I feel the quality of the videos was good, but once I hit a certain number, I started understanding like I was just pumping them out. The quality kind of devalued, and that's why I asked that because I think at a certain point it becomes unbalanced. I don't think quality can keep up with quantity. I don't think it can keep up with it. And that's why I kind of slowed down. I was like, I'd rather put out better videos than just pump out videos because I found myself just going live and talking. And even though, I was saying good things, it wasn't throughout the video. It was like bits and pieces of the video. Oh, he said something good here. And then an hour later, I say something else. And it's like, let me just um, cut it down and just make better content.
But that's why, like, when it comes to you, like I was telling people, I spoke about you a little earlier, and I was saying how, the consistency is what qualifies who you are, right? Like it doesn't matter how many different videos you have. I believe it's your consistency of subjects is what allows you to be qualified to be that good, that moral, that decent person, which is your quantity in my uh conversation, right? Because as long as you continuously trying to help somebody, right? It doesn't matter if you have a bad live. That one bad live cannot outweigh the 100 good ones that you had already displayed. Bronze, good afternoon. Right. So that's why I say for you, as you on the panel, not because you're just on the panel, your consistency is what allows you to be the word, not just because you use the words in in many different ways, but the way that it registers and the consistency that you use your words is what allows your name in this particular case to be the quantity of high value, of high qualification. That's how I view you per se. Like if I'm wrong, that's my opinion. But if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But that's what allows me to say, you know what, the word is consistent, or Riaz is consistent, because the way you give your value to the subjects that you are consistently talking about is what adds to your name. It qualifies you to be in a particular subject or label, and that's how I view the quality of a thing is more important than quantity. I'm gonna get to you, Diane. I read your comment, but I'm gonna let them respond.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense though, about the quantity and quality thing. Like basically when I switched to quality thing, I noticed how much, I'm very grateful though. Basically I noticed the traction coming in, and basically the ideas still come for me. Like I actually gave me a time to actually think of new ideas in some way, because when I was doing the quantity thing before, I was doing a bit of both in a way, but pumping it out all at one go, basically while doing that. And I was kind of noticing what is up, and also like what kind of effect it has on me and how much ideas I'm running out of. That's why I decided to switch to just daily shorts and just one video each week along that week. So that's why it's more easier to do videos that way. Can't do a video almost every single day, because I did that before and it was okay, but at the end of the day I kind of ran out of ideas while doing that, and I have to research hard while doing it.
And Shakira, I agree. I'm gonna break that down. People hear and don't listen enough. Listening is a skill, hearing is innate. We born with that, but we have to develop the skill of listening on this app, man. I mean, just in life, I think a lot of things would be um, avoided if people just take the time to listen. But that's another conversation. Diane, what up though? Bronze, what up though? I apologize. I missed y'all in the chat. I just got over to the chat. But it's
Diane
really
says,
not. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
"Go ahead, Word. No, no, go ahead, Word. Go ahead, finish."
Oh no, I was just gonna take it back to the conversation, but you taking it back with Diane's comment. My bad.
Yeah, I'm going to Diane comments. She says quantity is how much, where my number is. Quality, what level you on. They still go together. You need both. I think we all agree with that, right? But to your particular question, do they go? I mean, can you like? I wouldn't know how to balance that. Do you have? Is there a way to balance it? You see what I'm saying? I don't know if there's a way to balance it, right? Like you can balance good and evil, right? You can balance that to an extent. I don't know if you can balance quality and quantity. I don't know if there's a way to, like, I've never, like, even if I tried, I never got it to be balanced. Do you think there's a way to balance those two together, or is that just something that in its truest form is rarely to be done, to be balanced?
I think eventually it. I think eventually, quantity devalues the quality. Like this, for instance, like we talked about 100 pennies, right, and a dollar. Okay, the dollar's better, but when you get to $5, do you want to carry five singles or $5? And you keep doing that. Do you want to carry 100 singles or just $100 bill? So I don't think quality can keep up with quantity. Um, because the quality, is always, I like to say what's more useful. I guess that's the easiest way. Like if you look at quality, like what is quality? Like even a definition, look up the definition of quality and then compare that to quantity. And you will see, I don't think quality can keep up with. I mean, I understand it do go together because, like, if we send 100, 100 is 100, regardless if it's singles or one bill, it's still 100. So the quality is still there, but the quantity will eventually um, be too heavy to bear. Do you want to carry, like, think of a million dollars in pennies? You want to carry that around or $1 million in cash? It would be harder to carry. If you better the quality, it's easier to bear. But it's but it's more. 100 pennies of $1 million. I mean, $1 million of pennies always will be more. But the quality. What is easier, what is better, what is more sufficient for an individual. So I think the quantity will always supersede the quality. As far as it'll just be too more.
I mean, that's the reason for having these conversations, right? Like you are bringing a different perspective to the aspect of quantity, right? Even though I maintain that the quality makes the quantity more valuable, the fact that you are elaborating in this aspect, it brings new light into why these conversations are needed in the first place. You understand? Because, you know, it may be cut and dry to a lot of people, but that may be a way that it has always been displayed to us. Now, if you come from another aspect or another avenue and bring that into the light, it allows us to view it in its different content. And so, like I said, I was saying earlier, like, quantity can play a role, right? For example, if you have a one hit wonder, the quantity of that hit, it allows it to be a hit. But now you have to be consistent to show that you are more than just that one hit. You understand what I'm saying? Like if you know uh if you look at, I was talking about the Super Bowl when the Commanders, not you, Commander, the Commanders were playing in the Super Bowl, and that running back had a great game, right? But because he did it one time, he wasn't allowed to win the Super Bowl MVP. Why? Because he was a replacement player. His consistency didn't allow his inconsistency, because he was a quote unquote replacement player, didn't add. They made it seem like he didn't add value to the game, even though he rushed for daggone 200 yards. You understand what I'm saying? So they went with the name that they knew, because his his qualifications in the NFL, they just gave him the MVP, even though it's very rare that somebody rushes for 200 yards in a Super Bowl. You see what I'm saying? That's why I say, in mainstream, quality is always going to supersede quantity. But the fact that you are elaborating how can you know quality can match quantity sometimes, you know for a lot of people, it's a new subject, it's a new topic, and it's something that they never may have viewed before.
Now, if you want to talk about the psychology of it, I'm down for that because what you said is for a reason. And I will even argue that it's designed that way because if it's easier to control people if you have them thinking about quality, I mean quantity over quality, because they always go try to get and not value um, the quality of something. They just go want more of things. Like even think about how we look at one another when we determine each other's value. Who often looks at a person's character? They do that after the fact. They look and see how smart you are, how much money you got, what kind of car you got, what house you got. All this stuff makes the person valuable. But then when you get into the character, you be like, oh damn, you know. But old Joe Smo over here, who got the living in an apartment, driving a Ford Focus, can be Jesus walking, and people still haven't learned from that. So I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna go into a whole nother. But it's the quality of the person. But what is the quality?
Mhm.
People look at the quality as the quantity. Quantity would be the material thing. So it's just like understanding how to apply this concept to different aspects or avenues that people can view.
So Commander want to be funny. The topic is still the same, Commander. Quality versus quantity, right? You trying to be cute. All right, I'm gonna report you to HR. Oh, I can't. You are HR. But anyway, um, like I said, it's great having conversations like this. I know I don't do this often, right? But I just felt like, there's some people like it's okay to have the conversation, right? To dispute, why one is more important than the other. Because it's not a debate, it's a conversation. There's no need to show who's right or wrong or who's winning. But the conversation is enlightening. Like, who knows? Some people may understand what you're saying as far as the quantity side of things. And it allows everybody else to think about it in its broader view and not just one sided. That's why these conversations are needed to to be spoken about. And for me, is no other person that I would rather have this conversation with than you, because you have your quality of your broad view of things is, like I said, is what makes you the individual who you are, and we can have that conversation. BDB, what up, nine? And those are the things that we need to have, because if we just stay on the same side, it's going to be lopsided. But in this particular case, quantity does have a value, but a lot of us may not see the value of quantity as you are displaying it to us right now.
I mean, I think everything has value. It's more like how it's used, right? Because the more you have, the more you can do, right? That's just what it is. If you have more, you can do more. If you have less, then you go do less. So, I mean, it's how it's used and how it's applied. I don't think nothing is really good or bad. I think the intentions of usage is bad. So, quality, I'm gonna always go with quality for me personally. That's just what works for me. I prefer quality, but the quantity of things you can use. Like Commander was saying, the more a restaurant pumps out, the quality goes down. That's true. But if the quality goes down, you can feed more people. So the quality might not be as good as it would be if you feed less people. But what's better, if it's a lot of people hungry, are we gonna try to feed these people, or we just go feed a few at a time and make sure the quality of it is better? You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's why philosophy is important, because philosophy helps us uh, not only understand the good and the bad, but understanding the bad within the good and the good within the bad, if that makes sense.
Nah, that makes sense. And like I said, like I elaborated, for this conversation. I don't know if you heard it. I elaborated to like a war, right? Quantity may win some of the battles, but for me, the quality is going to win more of the battles, which are eventually it'll allow it to win the war. So that means it's going to outweigh quantity, because as much as quantity may win here and here and here and here, I just think quality is going to win the more important parts of the battles, which allows the war to be swayed towards quality and not just the quantity. It's not to say that it's a win or lose situation. I just feel like it just outweighs it. I just use the war as a elaboration of how I feel about the two entities that I'm speaking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with that because I mean, like it's all about analyzing. Like when I was talking, I don't know if you heard when I was talking about research last night. Like I'm a person who believe we use the term research now. I don't believe they have research experience, right? Because when you asking me what they did, they looked it up, and that's fine. But anyone who has like I would say college level experience with research, I understand how to cross reference, and that's an important factor of research. So the quality of analyzing things versus the quantity. Like that's what I said. So applying it to different aspects, but all of it correlates back to our everyday life. All of it do. Like this, people don't understand. Like this, for instance, in the Bible. Well, not in the Bible, but what is one of the oldest saying? You can teach a man how to fish and feed him forever, or you can feed a man 100 fish, right? So if I feed you, that's the quantity, 100 fish. That's gonna last you oh so long. But if I teach you, that's the quality. You can go catch your own 100 fish anytime you want.
And even if we go by that analogy, right? You put the all right. This is I can view it this way and using that same concept, right? Y'all know I say that one wins 1,000, right? So the quality of the message, it may hit the quantity of an individual, but they may simplify the message to where it qualifies for 1,000 people. You see what I'm saying? And they may win it that way. And that's why for me, that's why, I get it. I know we all are agreeing on the same thing. But that's why I just, say that your content is your character for that particular reason. Because if you believe or if you know that your message has value, you're going to continue to put that on display. You're going to continue to do the things that you do. You were just talking about history and research. It's a reason why, for me, I'm not a researcher. But if I need somebody to research, I give it to those that I know that will research. Shakira, Chiki, because that's what they do. You understand? Like
Mm-hmm.
you do it to a point where, but like that's their whole concept. That's their whole channel. So I would suggest them. I need. What do you think about this and this? I've done this with Chiki before. What do you think about this? And she'll go ahead and research it and put it on a video. And I'm like, wow, I didn't even know. I was asking the question, but I didn't know it goes to that extent of the history of what I was talking about. So that's why for me, I say, the quality, the efforts, the consistency of a thing is what's always going to outweigh a quantity. You can quality adds to quantity. I don't think quantity can add to quality. That's just me. Right? It's good. Good afternoon. How you doing?
What up, though? BDB, Shay,
Weird.
Ryder, BDB, what up, man? I missed y'all, my bad.
Rachel.
Yeah, I mean, it it's not even within duality because it's really two different concepts, but we associate them with each other because that's what they do. They actually balance one another out, I think the higher the quality, the lower the quantity. And that's just from observance. Like that's in math, that's in everything that we see. You see, the higher the quantity, the lower the quality, and the higher the quality, the lower the quality. Blah, blah. Yeah. So I mean that they kind of balance. That's how you kind of measure one. So it's
Mm-hmm.
really like no debate. It's just how it's applied. I think it's more how do you use it? How do you make it work for you? Because now you understand that's just what it is. So how can we make that work for us? Like I said, if we got a few good people, we can. And even in that aspect, think about it, right? When you have a few people, you can ration the food for a longer period of time. But the more people to adequately feed the people, the quality has to go down of what you feed them in increments. So one balances the other. Like to have one high, the other one must be low. That's like selling real estate. It tricked me out, bro. Like when the interest rates was down, the prices of the house was up. When the price of the house went down, the interest rates went up. And that's just how they balance one another.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. I agree, but I was also gonna say as well how you build the foundation of that as well. Because with some, let's say music artists as well, depending on how they built their foundation, if they built their foundation on the quality side, then basically when they take their time and when they do the quality, it'll come out really good. Some of them, the way they build it, they do it on quantity. So basically they have to keep up, keep up, and the moment they stop is the moment they fall because with that is how they built their foundation. Because with the ones that built with quality, it's how when they do quality, they build people who genuinely support them no matter what. And if they stop for a minute and take their time while making it, then basically they're set.
yeah, like if we use words, like I could play devil advocate, right? Words said, you may have to, the quantity of dishing out a meal, right? It may downsize, but for some people, the people that's hungry, if you downsize, the quantity of the meal, for some people, those that are starving, it'll make it a quality meal because you downsize the quantity or the size of it. You see what I'm saying? That's where that's why I said for me personally, it's hard to balance it because every individual is different, right? Now, if you feed me a small portion, all right, I understand you got other people to feed, right? But if you feed a small portion to somebody that doesn't have, they may say that's like filet mignon. You understand? They saying that's the creme de la creme because they don't have that consistency of having that quality of meal or the quantity of a meal to where it qualifies as a grade A meal. That's why I said for me, it's hard for me to even try to balance the two. If I could, I wouldn't know how to balance it because quality and quantity, it is a duality to a point, but the way to balance it would be hard for me to actually do.
Yeah, I
And
guess that makes
that,
sense as well. But then also, like some quality things as well, like when it's like really, really good quality as well. But then also, like let's say Hedy, for example, right? He had a good album that recently came out, and with him, basically compare his first to his second basically sold less because the way it was marketed and stuff like that and everything like that, the way he's doing it, the way he marketed that thing, that's just how it is. Even if it was that good didn't sell as much.
and but see, that's what I'm saying. Like they can't balance because they balance one another. They work. It's like cause and effect. I think instead of using the universal principle of duality, more or less use cause and effect. Because if you look at it, the cause of the quality will affect the quantity, and the cause of the quantity will affect the quality. So looking at it, and that's the crazy thing, bro. Like the universal law, like even looking at that concept, right? You take those two aspects, and you'll see the universal principles within all of them. and using cause and effect, or even using compensation, the law of compensation. What you put out, which is what you receive. So the quality of thing that you put out, you receive the quantity of it, right? Like if I take some cheap material, I can make more. But if I get expensive material, I'm only gonna be able to make less. It's the access of things. Do you have more wood or do you have more gold? If you're building something, do you have more stone? Do you have more gold? If you're
Like,
making a ring, do you have more silver or do you have more diamond?
who's good at doing that? I mean, when we having this conversation, it made me think of my 33 sister. I'm biased, right? Because she'll take something that people will view as low quality and value, make that value higher and make it of importance of a quantity. You see what I'm saying? Like she could turn she could turn a quilt and then hem it into something that is like of value, even if the material is not of quality. You see what I'm saying? She's one of those people that she can elevate a thing to a different aspect, or to where sh- people will value it at a certain level, if that's making any sense. That's why,
Now,
like I said, these conversations are needed.
now, even I take that same concept and make it even deeper. So why does it become more valuable? Because the the quality of work and time that she puts into it. She brings about now it becomes a one out of one. That's why it's more valuable versus something that she just pump out. You see what I'm saying? Even using her and her concepts and the way she do work. The reason her stuff is more valuable is because the quality that she put into it.
and
So
and
even
and
taking
that's why.
something that's transmutation, she taking something or alchemy even. That's physical alchemy.
And
So
that's
it's
the
still
beauty of
the
having.
my bad, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and that's the beauty of a thing, right? The fact that the addition of something adds qualifications and upgrades a substance to a thing is what makes quality even more of a value over quantity, right? Because even if she makes that one, they gonna want more because of the quality and the efforts of what she's putting into a thing, right? It's a reason why people clamor to certain channels, right? Because even if you produce that one video, the qualifications and the qualities that you put into that one video, which would be the quantity, is what allows people to come back. But the qualifications of your consistency is what makes the quality even more valuable, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. To also, like with the comedy and stuff like that, for me, when I do this series I made called Difference Between Two Genres, Grime and Road Rap. When I did that, though, I basically, took my time to research and find clips. Basically, find the clips and download it and basically clip them up and put them into a short and stuff like that. And basically find the amount of time, but the difference between them both. Because sometimes the only reason I did that, though, is because people sometimes what people like to do, they like to put them both together, but I want to show you how different they are. So basically, the way I did it is how it is. It may look simple from the outside in, but the way I did it, you know, that's why I take quite a while to basically post, different installments in it, because I'm taking my time to figure out, who's the next, but who's the next artist I'll put in as an example of the difference between this and that. So that's why I do that though. Even though it may look simple, that's why it's the beauty of simple stuff.
I agree with that. Understand? I agree with that logic too. You know, because at the end of the day, right? As far as clicks and views, right? Clicks and views, I would view as quantity, right? Because it's you doing it that one time. But how long can that? How consistent can you be to in order for that quantity to become a quality video? Like I said, it's like the one hit wonder thing. You got that one hit, right? Now you got to be shown to be consistent now. You got that one, but are you able to do it at a higher number or at a higher value? But if you don't have the qualifications of doing so, the one hit wonder is just going to be that one quantity thing that you have produced and have given into society. I don't want to be
Mm,
viewed that way. I'd rather
right.
have 100 videos that's me being consistent of what I'm trying to do, whether it's being positive, whether it's being encouraging, whether it's just speaking life. I'd rather have that than just have that one video. Well, it hit everybody, and now I got 50,000 people that like my video, and I'm not consistent enough to continue to show
Yeah,
why it has
yeah.
value
Sorry
to it.
to cut you off. You're right, though. Sorry to cut you off, but you're right, and I agree with that. But then also, if you have a lot of hits and everything, let's say with the artists as well, they have like a lot of hits and they keep doing it and they're very consistent and they're really big, though. At some point, right, they'll make something that is so massive, though, that it makes a big impact, though, that sometimes, though, for the pressure to them is it's gonna be really hard for them to top what they made before, because what that one song they made, right, is so massive that it eclipsed everything else they did before, right? And they have to find, yeah, it's like pressure, it's like they have to figure out how to get past the pressure of how do I basically follow that same song they did again. So it's like AJ, though, with AJ Tracy and stuff like that. He made this one song in 2019. It was massive for him, right? And he had like lots of songs that were massive, but this one song that he made was so massive that it made like a big impact, and it was kind of pressuring for him because he's trying to figure out how do I keep staying consistent, or how do I keep staying consistent while basically trying to basically not let this song overtake me, like like that. And he did, and when he took his time off, and when he came back late last year and now, and when he released new songs now, he did put the quality and the time into it, and he went back to his roots and stuff, because he realized, oh look, I'm trying to make it into America, but at the same time, look, man, am I like losing myself? Like, what drew people, what drew me, what drew the people to me in the first place? So when he took his time off, came back, and now he made like a comeback to his entire career, because people kind of felt he was stagnant for a bit.
Yeah, I totally get what you. Yeah, yes, I 100% agree with your aspect and your view of the thing, right? You know, but as we embarking on the 2 hour mark, I'm gonna get ready to shut it down. So, what are your last words as far as quality versus quantity as your ending mark of the situation of this conversation? Riaz, you go first.
All right, so basically for me, the quality and quantity, you can't live without both, or you can't do both at the same time. So yes, you do the quality for the outside, but also when you do the quantity bit, it's like basically the quantity, and no matter what you do, you put the maximum effort into like pushing it, but then at the same time put the quality into basically making it look appealing as well. So for me, like sometimes though, the way for me, right, it looks simple from the outside, but the amount of time and the research I put into it, is my quality, because it's not that easy to basically come up with different artists, different songs, and different clips to basically put into it. It's easy to do it, but at the same time, the ideas of like, what am I gonna do today, here, 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 it's not that easy. So that's why, I take time while doing it. So then something fresh comes out of it.
I appreciate your concept and your aspect and your view, and you're adding
Okay.
to the conversation. Yes, I truly do appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Word, you got any?
I'll hop down now. Thank you.
No, thank you for showing up. Word, you have any last words about the topic of quality versus quantity before before we shut down? Word might not be there. I'm gonna give him a couple of seconds, right? So
Oh, my bad. I was on mute. I was talking like a mother. But I was about to say, it's not whether one is good or bad, but just understanding when to apply them. Sometimes, quality would be better for the situation or circumstance. Sometimes the quantity, it's just being aware, understanding when to use it, but one is not good and one is not bad. Shout out to the chat.
I
Appreciate you,
I
bro.
I,
You pop up.
Yo, I appreciate you, and I know you. I know you, right? I gotta, this is the look. But now I'm touching a little subject. The expectations of a situation. We're gonna speak about this a little bit more. I can pretty much. I'm not gonna guarantee it, but I'm gonna book it, right? Because this has so many barriers and reaches to where you know you're not afraid to explore it, right? So I appreciate you popping up, right? And like I said, I would rather have this. I would have this conversation with you know nobody but you because your value to a situation. Like I said, it qualifies you to be a person of conversation on this type of topic, right? So this is my appreciation, for having this concept. We speak. People don't understand when you had these conversations. You got to draw. You got to draw some information, and like I said, you're like a river of information and knowledge and understanding. So I truly appreciate you. From that standpoint. Shout out to the word. Shout out to the 9%. And this is how I'm going to close for quality and quantity, right? Because it just came into my mind as the panelists were speaking, right? You know, quantity is for today, right? We just had this conversation, and I believe that it had value on all aspects and it had value for everybody, right? So that was the quantity of this live, right? But in order for the quality to be reached, we have to continuously speak about it, right? So quality is for future, right? Because you have to be consistent, you have to be, active in order to produce great things. The quantity is just starting, but you can always add to greatness by the qualities that you live. The quantity we just is the foundation, but the qualities is solidifies the foundation. So quantity is today, quality is for tomorrow and the future. That's how I'm going to end my live today. I truly appreciate all of you guys that stayed the course with me and allowed me to have this conversation. But as Word would say, a better you is a better us. And in order for us to be better, we have to sit down and have these conversations. Even if it's uncomfortable, we got to have these conversations because, like he says, a better you is a better us. And as long as we continue to grow, we could never be grown, right? So with that being said, I truly appreciate y'all staying on live and adding your conversations. All of you guys in the chat, your words added to, or your conversation added to the conversation of quality versus quantity. So I appreciate you guys staying with me. Uh, until next time, guys. I appreciate you. I'm out.